Have you ever wondered how to increase your capacity without beating up your body? That's a question that I've thought about for a long time. I want to take a quick second to thank Element for sponsoring this video. Element helps anyone stay hydrated without the sugar and other dodgy ingredients found in popular electrolyte and sports drinks. Try Element totally risk-free. If you don't like it, give it away to a salty friend and they'll give you your money back, no questions asked. Element is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration. I'm super excited about the return of the Element Chocolate Medley. I love to have any of the chocolate medley packets at night before going to bed. Element is offering you guys a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single-serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try out all 8 flavors or share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/Jason Grubb. It's only available through my link. You gotta go to drinklmnt.com/Jason Grubb. Going back to my first year of CrossFit, I remember at about the 9-month mark, I saw the owner of the gym where I was training doing some additional work after class. And I was already kind of competitive and I wanted to be as fit as him. He was like this 50-plus-year-old dude. He's the fittest man I'd ever met in my life. And he was doing extra work. And I was like, yeah, hey, Keith, can I jump in on some of this extra work? He's like, sure, come on in. And it just blew my mind that we were doing like a class workout and then some extra stuff. The first couple of weeks doing that, I was destroyed at home. I felt good that we were doing like extra work, but I was totally destroyed. Super tired, absolutely exhausted by it. But it gave me this thought that like, oh, all I have to do to build capacity is just tack on additional work. So I did that year. And at age 39 and 40 and 41, I started trying to qualify for the CrossFit Games. And I was doing these big single sessions with a ton of capacity, a ton of work. And I was finding myself working really hard for like 2.5 hours and being absolutely stagnant in my growth. Like I wasn't getting fitter. After not making it to the CrossFit Games as a 41-year-old, super frustrating by the way, having worked so hard that whole time, I realized I needed to just give up and do something, follow a master's training program. So I jumped onto CompTrain Masters and reduced the volume. So what I found was that I could give a lot more effort and be more intentional about my training with less volume. And I was eating more correctly. I was sleeping better at the time. And that's probably how I qualified for the games as a 42-year-old. Went to the CrossFit Games, got 3rd place. Okay. So I was super stoked by that. And I trained 1 session a day into 2019. I won the CrossFit Games in 2019, training 1 session a day. Moving into 2021, 1 session a day. As I moved into 2022 and 2023, I could feel the competition getting a little more intense. All of the other athletes were targeting me, and I was like, I gotta put in a little bit more work here. I didn't really know how to do that. And I discovered that if I broke up my sessions into 2 sessions, and I had enough time between session 1 and session 2, I would recover a bit. And I would be able to do a first session at full capacity. And then I'd be able to do a second session at full capacity. And I had discovered that killing myself in a morning session and killing myself in the afternoon session was not the recipe for success. After the 2021 CrossFit Games, I took a break and I did a half Ironman triathlon just to give my body a break from CrossFit. I did the same thing after the CrossFit Games in 2022. In 2023, I was planning on doing a full Ironman because I figured I would be a little bit older and even more beat up. But I'd started following my own programming, Boulder Athlete Training, and I discovered that building capacity didn't mean I had to destroy my body. That actually some workouts, in fact most workouts, don't need to be all-out efforts. That there's an actual intensity range that different workouts should have. And that's what I follow now in all of my sessions. But let's talk about that second session in building capacity, because that's really where I'm at right now, just about to do it here in my garage. And the way that I found to make my second session the most potent is to have the second session be primarily machine driven. Machine driven, what I mean by that is on the BikeErg, on the SkiErg, on the runner, on the Echo bike, those types of machines. They don't beat us up, but we can build tremendous capacity on them. And when I started doing that leading into the 2023 CrossFit Games, after that season, I felt great. And I didn't do an Ironman to take a break from CrossFit. Instead, I kept training because my body felt great. Same thing through the entire year going into 2024 and after the 2024 CrossFit Games. By doing a second session that was primarily machine driven to build my capacity without beating up my body, I found that my body loves that. And my capacity is at an all-time high, with the aches and pains and injuries being at an all-time low in my CrossFit career. So if you're an athlete looking to add a second session to your life, the second session can be before your first session or after your first session. That doesn't really matter. What really matters is that you have a solid amount of time between sessions so that you can eat, you can refuel, and your body can recover so that you can give your best to the next session. That doesn't mean you're going all out on that next session, it just means that you're ready to give your best to that session. So for me, here's what it looks like. I get up, I eat breakfast, I go work out from like 10 until 12, come home, eat lunch, work through the afternoon. In the early evening, I come in the garage to do my second session. Today's second session is 10 sets of 1,000 meter rowing with a minute and a half rest in between. This is a workout that's meant to be yellow to orange in its intensity, meaning it's zone 3 to zone 4, not zone 5. This is not an all-out effort. This is over an hour of work, and it should be something that's sustainable. Each round should take me about the same amount of time, getting up to recover, to shake out my legs a little bit and get right back into it after 90 seconds. Now, I didn't start with 1,000 meter rows. This is the end of a 6-week cycle, so this is where the volume is the highest. Over the past few weeks, it's been 500 meter rows, and it's slowly built up to 1,000 meter rows. This will be 10,000 meters worth of rowing in the next hour. I'm excited to do it. I like doing stuff like this, just put in a podcast and get some work done. But what's awesome, I'll be tired afterwards, but I'm not gonna be beat up. And tomorrow is a rest day. I'll go swimming tomorrow because I'm preparing for the Legends Championship, but I'll feel okay. I won't be beat up. So build capacity by adding that second session, but also make that second session separate from your first session, and also make it primarily a machine-based second session. That's gonna make your life a whole lot better. Your capacity is gonna increase, but the wear and tear on your body is gonna be at the minimal. And that's it. Real simple advice here today, guys. If you have questions about that, leave a message in the comments. I'm happy to respond. If you're looking for a second session, that is one of the tracks in Boulder Athlete. We have 5 tracks. One of them is a second session capacity builder. You can always subscribe and just do what I'm doing. I do a second session Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it seems to have worked out pretty well so far. Guys, your best days are ahead of you. Fortune favors the bold. Best way to start a second session is to start with Element, obviously, in your water. Drink about half of this before the session and the rest of it throughout the session. I've seen a huge bump in my performance by adding Element to my water prior to training and competition.